From Plymouth and Norfolk, Mr. O'Connor.
Thank you, Madam President, and through you to the members. I rise in support of Senate Bill 2367, which I'm thrilled that the Senate has prioritized and we're about to debate today. Shortly after I was elected in a special election, joining the gentleman from Winthrop into this esteemed chamber, a concerned mother from Weymouth reached out to me to share a story about a serious issue that was ongoing in her family, especially with her son Dana. Dana is 31 years old and lives with Angelman syndrome. And although nonverbal, Dana is one of the happiest people you'll ever meet and loves spending time with his family and friends. Like many families do, Dana's family entrusted him to a residential care facility. After a while, his mother started to notice a change in his demeanor when they would go back to his group home after spending a weekend away with his family. They knew something wasn't right. Following her mother's intuition, Dana's mom, Ann, placed a hidden camera in Dana's room at the group home. When she checked the footage, she was horrified about what she saw. Dana was being smacked, shoved, and dragged around his room and was being withheld medication when he was supposed to receive it. Dana was being emotionally and physically abused, and there was nothing he could say or do about it. After showing the video to the state police, the abusers at his group home were charged and fired. The story doesn't end there. Dana's mother dedicated her life after having Dana to helping those living with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and works at a group home herself, much like the one that Dana lives at. One day, while at work, soon after Dana abusers were fired, one of the individuals showed up at Ann's group home to apply for a job. Had it not been for the fact that Ann worked at that location, they would have hired that individual. It was pure coincidence that saved all those residents from the risk of abuse. So last session, knowing that we can no longer rely on coincidence, I proposed legislation on behalf of Dana. And shortly thereafter, we learned that the gentleman from Millbury filed a bill for his constituent, Nicky. And when a hearing for both of those bills took place, we heard from families from the gentleman from Milton's district, from the gentleman from Gloucester's district, and from families all across our Commonwealth whose loved ones have been abused, and the abuser moves the next town over and finds a new job taking care of those who can't take care of themselves and in some instances cannot speak for themselves. I was proud that the Senate prioritized and passed this legislation last session. And since we passed this legislation, this bill has grown into an even more comprehensive and well-constructed piece of legislation that is mindful of public safety, due process, and efficiency. I want to personally thank the gentleman from Millbury for his leadership to the disability community, his steadfast stewardship of this bill, and all the work that you and your staff has put into its advancement. I want to also thank the Massachusetts Developmental Disability Council, the Disability Law Center, the Arc of Massachusetts, and all other advocacy groups that continue to push this legislation into law. I especially want to thank the families of Dana Schneider and Nicky Chan. Their love for their children is so strong and unrelenting that they managed to manifest it into real change so that no one would have to endure what their children did. This bill is about shining a bright light on the care industry. And it's about giving employers the tools they need to ensure they are hiring caring professionals that would never even think about harming an individual with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Today is our opportunity to send a message once again, loud and clear, that Massachusetts is taking real, proactive measures to protect the most vulnerable members of our communities. I look forward to a healthy debate, keeping in mind the well-being of Nicky, Dana, and all others like them who have silently coped with abuse, and their families who have fought with everything they've got to protect the ones they love. Madam President, I hope this is adopted.